Welcome to the Adult Learning Philosophy and Guiding Principles presentation. This presentation is brought to you by Anastassia Antondias, Kari McLeod, Rosales, and Satbir. This is a story of two people setting out on separate adult learning journeys. Their journeys are very different, yet adult learning principles and guidelines inform them both. As you hear the story in the YouTube video, listen for moments of experiential learning and critical thinking. Here are their stories. The year is 1990. John Chalk and Larry Freethink are high school friends who couldn't be more different. The boys have been inseparable since childhood and are saying goodbye for the first time at the end of their high school graduation ceremony to pursue their dreams separately. John is attending university in the fall to pursue a degree in business administrative studies with a focus on human resources. Larry is leaving tomorrow on a year-long journey that will take him surfing on the Oregon coast and then traveling around Europe. Both young men are picking up skills as facilitators, but in very different ways. Both are learning from actions undertaken during their employment and education experiences. Larry arrives at the Oregon coast to begin his summer of surfing. He realizes he should probably look for some work to help him pay for his passion of surfing. Larry has been an avid outdoor enthusiast with a particular interest in water sports since he was a child and decides to work for a company that allows him to pursue his passions while still earning some money. He quickly finds a job working for a vacation service provider offering boating excursions. His employer realizes he's very good with customers, particularly in providing safety instructions and basic training to those who require an introductory lesson. John spends the summer reading and looking for ways in which he can enhance his university experience. During the summer, he reads books from which he learns that everything we experience in our lives affects how we learn and subsequently behave. He reads many books which deal with the effects of emotions and stress on information processing. This resonates with John deeply because he is very goal-oriented and he wants to ensure that he will be able to make the most of his education without becoming burnt out. When John enters university, he looks for ways to make some extra income while also gaining valuable work experience. During the summer, John learned that he could work as a teaching assistant while he attends university. John pursues all opportunities available to him to help him move forward in his aspirations to join the corporate world and make a good income. Reading books and exploring his opportunities, John learns that researching and exploring options by viewing things from various angles will benefit him in that he can make better decisions for his future. He realizes he runs the risk of overstimulation, but fears he may become bored if he doesn't keep himself engaged. Larry spends the summer traveling around teaching people how to surf, swim, and boat. He enjoys every minute of his experiences and travels to Europe. In Europe, Larry finds that he can work his way across Europe teaching scuba diving in places such as Spain and the south of France. Meanwhile, John is knee-deep in pursuing his studies and gains experience as a TA. He enjoys being a TA but finds balancing the workload with studying a bit cumbersome. He acquires other skills along the way, such as working for the media department that assists professors in setting up overheads, video and audio equipment, and showing the professor how to use these. Over the years, advances are made, and John learns about Internet, PowerPoint, and other great ways that professors can make presentations without having to use an overhead machine. He spends countless hours learning how to use these new programs and methods. John uses the advanced technologies in creating his own presentations for classes and group projects and puts his mind to thinking about the impact his presentations will make to offer improved learning for his fellow students. He learns to organize his materials and subjects in a format using new technologies that will be engaging, informative, and most importantly, meaningful. One of the most important things John has to consider is the benefits of using certain formats and technologies versus others. Will his students benefit the same way if John uses PowerPoint instead of a lecture and overhead format, or will some information be lost in translation, leaving a gap in the transfer of learning? After the end of their first year, the young men meet up to reflect on their experiences over coffee. John is happy for Larry and loves the stories. Larry is equally impressed with what John is doing at his university. Both men reflect on their experiences and learn new ideas from one another. Larry is very passionate and full of enthusiasm as he talks about his travels and all the people he's met and had the opportunity to train. He's made many new friends during his travels and earned the respect of people who were otherwise afraid of participating in scuba diving and surfing excursions. John points out to Larry that he's offering experiential learning experiences to tourists that involve some physical learning. Learners are engaged in acquiring skills to operate a boat using their minds and body to guide the boat. The scuba divers are learning to be in touch with their emotions and using their physical body to navigate the waters. Larry is fascinated with John's points as he has never saw what he did as teaching in a formal sense. He simply felt he was pursuing his passion and sharing it with the people he met in his journeys. They promise to keep in touch and continue on with their plans for the following year. John continues on to the second year of university and takes courses related to human resources and adult education. John learns more about critical thinking and planning presentations and training programs. He learns about various models such as Dewey's theory of experience and Kolb's model about transformation of learning. He learns about exploration and discovery, which lead to powerful experiential processes through action, reflection, learning, and doing. Collaborations bring more meaning to the learning process. Larry enrolls in certification program to become a scuba instructor at a local community college. He continues to work part-time teaching boating and swimming lessons. Larry is able to easily provide others training with pursuits that require a mind-body connection. Their emotions are linked to their ability to manage the physical learning aspects. Without coordination and concentration, the mind and body wouldn't be able to work together to create learning opportunities. Larry is able to instill confidence in students. Several years later, the men meet again and lament on how much their lives are different, but they share commonalities in their career paths. Larry has been teaching all along. However, things that involve physical learning, such as coordinating the body's functions, orienting the body in physical space. Larry's students are learning something new or improving existing skills in activities calling for physical performance. John has graduated from university and joined an organization in an entry-level position and is seeking to join the training division as a trainer. Larry is intrigued with some of the more formal models and theories that John speaks about, in particular Kolb's model, the transformation of experience. Larry points out to John that over the years, during their conversations, John has provided critical thinking skills to Larry. Through their conversations, Larry has learned to see different perspectives of what he's been doing in his life and what he offers to his students. Larry surprises John by pointing out that John has used continuity and interaction to bring his skills together into his new trainer position at the large insurance company. John has gained new skills while working for the media department and used his past interactions to guide his present ability to teach. In conclusion, both men are adult educators in very different environments, and in these environments the importance of philosophy and guiding principles is evident. John fostered critical thinking in his own approach to adult education by continually seeking out new challenges and working to fit the puzzle of his career path together. In all of his roles and jobs, he was always thinking strategy about how best to facilitate and to ensure his students had the opportunity to think critically as well. Spear and Mocker, 1991, identify 3 key points on the subject of critical thinking. Adults must be given continual opportunities to think critically. Critical thinking is about developing the process of discovering the answer and not from the answer. We must draw from the learner's interests and experience to bring about motivation. Larry learned many facilitating best practices through trial and error. Because so much of his teachings were in somewhat informal settings, he had the luxury of making changes and improvements on the fly and then apply these improvements in future sessions. At this point in his career, he would see value in the 4 important keys in experiential learning identified by McLeod in the Week 7 study notes. We need a plan that supports each phase of the learning cycle. We need to leave adequate time for feedback. Learners should never leave feeling anxious or threatened, and time is needed for the facilitator to reflect on responses from learners. The experiences of these 2 men illustrate the importance of principles and guidelines informing our practice to ensure good experiences for us as facilitators and for the students who cross our paths. Thank you for watching the video. We now invite you to visit the study notes and forum in Module 3, Week 7.